What possible impact when the oxygen sensor damaged in your car? A failing oxygen sensor negatively impacts the car's fuel combustion and delivery system. If it's not working properly, the oxygen sensor will allow too much fuel to be injected into the engine, which will manifest in significantly lower gas mileage compared to the usual gas mileage of your car. If your vehicle has a bad oxygen sensor, it could run irregularly or sounds rough when it idles. A faulty oxygen sensor can impact your engine's timing, combustion intervals, and other essential functions. You could also notice stalling or slow acceleration. A bad oxygen sensor could cause sluggish and rough driving with stalls, along with poor fuel efficiency and high pollution. And if you live in there for several months, it will lead to serious problems in the engine and catalytic converter, which cost thousands of dollars to fix or replace. Types of oxygen sensor. Oxygen sensors are classified into two, namely binary exhaust gas and universal exhaust gas. Number 1. Binary exhaust gas oxygen sensor. The binary sensor gives a transition within electronic voltage at 350 degrees Celsius temperature based on the level of oxygen within the exhaust. It contrasts the remaining oxygen content within the exhaust by the ambient air oxygen level and recognizes the change from a lack of air to an excess air, and vice versa. Number 2. Universal exhaust gas. This sensor is very exact when calculating the ratio of lack and excess of air or fuel. It has a better calculating range and is also appropriate for employed in gas and diesel engines. Here are some of the most common signs that your oxygen sensor is bad. Number 1. Check engine light is on. This is the simplest sign. Those warning indicators on your dash are not just pretty pictures, but they tell you when something is wrong with your vehicle. If you see a check engine lights, you better conduct a car diagnostic test and find out what's wrong with your vehicle. Number 2. Bad gas mileage. Are you filling up your gasoline tank more than usual? This is a sign that something isn't working right and your auto sensor could potentially be one of the causes. Your gas mileage efficiently will decrease over time, so you'll need to monitor this to recognize the pattern. Number 3. Emission test failure. Everyone hates failing, especially in a test, but your emission test is one that could be costly to pay for, especially when you'd have to pay for a second one. Poor oxygen sensors are one of the most common reasons for failure during an emission test. Make sure to have your sensor checked by a mechanic prior to your first test to save you time and money. Number 4. Rotten egg smell. You'll know it as soon as you smell it. This smell is from burning sulfur and is a symptom of damage in the emission system or a problem with the catalytic converter. The oxygen sensor can fail and lead to a poor fuel-air mixture. If there is not the right balance, it can damage your catalytic converter in your exhaust system, leading in the rotten egg smell. Number 5. Rough idling and stalling. If you notice that your engine is a little bumpy or stalls and starts, you should definitely have your car checked out. And one of the important things to have your mechanic check while they're looking at everything are your oxygen sensor. Application to solve the case. Step 1. Identify the faulty sensor. Before beginning, connect the OJT-2 scan tool to the vehicle and read the codes to determine which specific oxygen sensor has failed and needs to be replaced. Depending on the engine design, vehicles can have multiple oxygen sensors, sometimes on both sides of the engine. Reading the trouble codes will tell you exactly which sensor is in need of replacing, either the upstream, top or downstream button sensor, and on what bank side of the engine. Step 2. Rise the vehicle. Once the faulty sensor has been identified, rise the vehicle and secure it on jack stands. Be sure to rise the vehicle on the side which will allow you to access the oxygen sensor that needs to be replaced. Step 3. Disconnect the oxygen sensor connector. With the vehicle raised, locate the faulty oxygen sensor and disconnect the wiring harness connector. Step 4. Remove the oxygen sensor. Using the oxygen sensor socket or the appropriate size open end wrench, loosen and remove the oxygen sensor. Step 5. Compare the faulty oxygen sensor with the replacement sensor. Compare your old oxygen sensor with your new replacement to ensure the correct fitment. Step 6. Install the new oxygen sensor. Once fitment has been verified, install your new oxygen sensor and connect the harness. Step 7. Clear the codes. Once the new sensor has been installed, it is time to clear the codes. Connect to OBD to scan tool to the vehicle and clear the codes. Last step, Step 8. Start the vehicle. Once the codes have been cleared, remove and reinsert the key, and then start the vehicle. The check engine light should now begin and the symptoms you were experiencing should be alleviated. Thank you.